our experiment is how these 3 leaves, as you can see, react to food coloring. Involves one of the 6 characteristics in the scientific method. That we think the smallest leaf will absorb the most food coloring because it's like the stem is the biggest out of all of them, and we think the biggest leaf is going to absorb the least food coloring because it has the smallest stem.
Our experiment is going to be, we're going to follow the steps of the scientific method, and it's going to be involving one of the 6 characteristics of living things. The one that we are using is how living things respond to sense and change. These leaves are brand new, so they will be.
So for our first step, we're going to be filling 3 cups of water up, and we're going to be using half a cup to measure it. So let's get started. Third cup. And all 3 cups are filled up. And as you can see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that very well. Each one of them are to that line. But yeah, thank you. And that's our first step.
So first we're going to be mixing food coloring and water together. Now we're using, as you can see, we're using this food color to mix it in. So I'm just going to dump a little bit in each bowl. I'm going to use this toothpick to just kind of get it out into the cup. And I'm just going to gently mix it, as you can see. Then I'm going to do it to the other one. And you can see it's starting to change. Now I added more in this one than I did in that one, so it's a little bit darker, and I'm just going to add some more. Finally, the last cup. And you actually do not need a lot to do this experiment. Just need a little bit of food coloring to put in the cup.
And make sure you stir thoroughly, and to make sure all the stuff is mixed in. So we'll have a little bit more stirring to do. As you can see, there's some clumps of it on the bottom. So that's the second step that you need to do to get this experiment started.
So what you're going to want to do after that is to cut a little slip of the leaf, like so.
At a slant, so it's easier for it to absorb.
I'm going to do that for each leaf very carefully. Now for the last leaf. Now you're going to gently put the leaves in the cup.
And we're going to...
a little bit too big.
Okay. And now we're going to start a timer for 5 minutes, and then we're going to check in again in 5 minutes to see if any changes are made. So our timer just went off, and so now we're going to observe each leaf, and there might not be as much change because it's only been 5 minutes, and I haven't been in that long. So you can kind of see that hasn't been much really, though you can tell it's been in water. So we're probably gonna have to let it soak for a little bit longer. Though there should be some change that happens in the leaves. Let's look at our next one. The tip is starting to look purplish, and so that's a good sign that it's starting to absorb. And then our last leaf, our smallest one, the tip is really purple. And so that's a good sign because it's starting to absorb. So you guys can see.
So it's already been another 5 minutes, and we're going to see our big leaf first. So as you can tell, it's actually gotten a lot more purple, and the green on the stem is starting to like go away. It's starting to turn a little bit purplish. So it's definitely changing.
Okay.
Now for our second one, let's see this. It's also starting to turn like brownish because of the stem, and starting to and the green is starting to come off of it. Now on our last leaf,
there's been a big improvement.
This stem used to be green, and now it's totally white, and the color out of the stem has come out, and the leaves kind of died down a little, the color.
There's been a dramatic change in the leaf right here. My hand is shaking. Not really on this leaf, but let's check the big leaf. is turned white on the inside. So really, I think the most one that's changed so far has to be the small one.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a total of 15 minutes so far, so they've been soaking for 15 minutes straight. Total of 15 minutes, and so we're going to observe the leaves. Thank you, Parker, for that shower of leaves. First, the big one. So we're going to see if there's been a lot of change. The bottom is starting to turn purple, and there hasn't been a lot of change with this leaf, so it's not doing very well. And now to the medium-sized leaf. It's starting to go up the stem a little. And so that it's starting to go into the stem and absorb. So that's a good sign that it's starting to absorb. Now the smallest one. This one has made a really big change because all the veins in it, most of the veins are turning purple. So that's a really good sign. And so now we're going to watch it for another 5 more minutes, and then we're going to give you feedback.
So it's been another 5 minutes, and as you can see, the big one has not made any results. Like our hypothesis said, it really isn't doing much, and we really didn't think that the big one would make enough of it in the stem. Now the middle one is actually starting to become wider. The purple is getting to it, but it's still not progressing as fast. And then finally the little one has gotten a little bit darker. As you can see, the stems of the leaf are actually purple now and are starting to change colors. So that's
Okay, so these are our end results. So this is our big leaf, and you can see the inside of the stem is starting to get more pink. There's a little bit of white left that was starting to turn pinky purple. Now to our medium one. This inside of the stem is completely purplish pink, and so you can tell that it is starting to just have the liquid go inside. And then the last one, the smallest one, it has made the biggest change, and all the veins have soaked up the water and stuff, so that is a really good sign.
Our hypothesis was correct because the smallest leaf stem did absorb the most food coloring. Sorry.
Okay, and how we're going to spread the information around is to all everyone who watches this YouTube video will know the information from this experiment.